Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mount Deurklink. Now, one of the areas I haven't really finished yet is this backside of the mountain here. And I've thought long and hard about what I want to have in this area. I mean, I could just make it a mountainscape, but I think this space is just... I just want to have another attraction here. And what I thought would look cool is one of those catapult rides. So what is a catapult, you may ask? I've made a tutorial on how to build one of these, and I've also built it in someone else's park. Basically, it's an old Schwarzkopf ride, which has a circular track with a loop on one end. And basically it gets launched forwards, backwards a few times, until finally it makes it through the loop, and then it does several laps. Now, I could try to build it normally, but the thing about this attraction is that it's fully made of banked track, so it requires a shoestring. Now normally it also required a vehicle hack, because I need to change the front car of the train, but with the right vehicle editor plugin that has been made a lot easier. Okay, so first I'm going to do a little bit of landscaping here, just to lay out the track which I want the train to run on, and then afterwards I'll start with the shoestring. Okay, I've now made the track. Now, I will still decorate it with some more of these volcano pieces, but for now the track is here, so I can now start working on the shoestring. Now, this used to be much more difficult, but I think I should be able to do it now. And again, the right vehicle editor is what makes it a lot more easy to do. Okay, I'm going to start by making a copy of this ride, but without the banking and with a station, and that will be right under this existing ride. Alright, and now I'll make the actual ride, which the trains will spawn on. The only thing this ride has to do is, I'll have to make a station, make some space behind it to spawn the trains, and then I'll just have to make it loop back and merge with this track. And from this train, I mean, I'm also going to split off the front train and have it run around on this track. Also, I should remember to build in the same direction. That's something which I didn't do, apparently. Alright, let's see if we can do this in a proper way without crashing the train. So, I've put the train, this is the train we want, 6 cars per train. I'm going to try and split off the front car, put it on this track, and then sort of try and time it so that the when the front car stops, all the other cars are aligned in this curve. So let's see how that goes. Okay, I'm quite happy about where the cars are positioned with respect to the front car. So if the front car stops, you can see these trains are now also nice and nicely in this curve. So first thing I'm going to do is change the front car of this train to because I want it to look the same as this one. And then afterwards, I'm going to tweak the launch speed because I want it to make it through the loop. Okay, I'm quite happy with how this looks. Now, as you can see, the stats, they're ultra extreme, and that's because in order to get these tight curves here, I used the unbanked track leading into this loop. Now, in order to get this layout so tight, there's not much I can do about that. So, in order to allow guests to still ride this, instead of a looping roller coaster, I'll change it into a lift. Well, I had to do that anyway to make the track invisible, and that means that guests will now ride it regardless of its stats, and I'm pretty sure the stats will be recalculated at some point. Okay, now it does look quite weird having this coaster car go around here underground. So there's actually a way to hide it if you use the right vehicle editor. So I'm quickly going to pause the game and let's go to the right vehicle editor. So here's Katapult. So vehicle 1 is completely down here. So I'm just going to remember the mass. It's 550. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into a oh, that's not the right thing. This one I needed. So I'm changing it into a maze. Also keeping the mass the same, so 550. Alright, so now there will be an invisible vehicle going around here. Nobody will be able to see it, but it's there. And it's actually still doing the same thing it did before, helping this shoestring happen. I could also do the same with these vehicles here, or this one here that's underground. Oh, this one actually has guests in it. Must be a fun ride here underground on this control track. Anyway, what's left to do for me here is to, I need to give it a fancy color, and I need to connect the entrance and the exit. And I think I can make a nice little tunnel somewhere over here. Leading towards this ride here. Okay, since the ride is fully underground, I'm not gonna completely decorate it. Also the queue looks kinda weird like this, but I did want to have a nice little wooden platform for the guests to be able to enter and exit the ride. So I just put some wooden coaster track under it to act as the station for the ride. Okay, now I'm just going to decorate the ride a little bit more. I thought it would be fun to have a little queue that dips outside here. Of course, I'm also going to decorate this a bit more. I thought this was a nice little addition here, just to make it look a little bit more fancy. Okay, I think this is a really nice addition to the park. I can stare at it for hours, but I won't bore you with that. What I want to do now is work on some of these patches over here that are still a bit blocky. Just make them look a little bit nicer and finish this part of the mountain. Okay, I just went back to this area here with the suspended swinging coaster, and it all blurs a bit into each other. I mean, there are these higher patches of ground which the coaster travels around, but yeah, I think it's all a bit too much same texture. But I just found out it actually looks quite cool if we put these giant snowflakes on top. And I think it helps distinguish these higher grounds from the rest. So I'm just going to add some of these on top of these ice spikes here. I think it will look pretty cool. Alright, kinda like the end result of what I built in this episode. So here we have this catapult ride which comes out of the mountain here. Now it is in quite an awkward spot because it's not really visible from the rest of the park. I mean, you could see it from over here maybe. I did make sure to not put any trees from in between the summit and the loop. So guests would still be able to see it, but of course it's still a bit of an awkward spot. It maybe would have been nicer if it was on this side, but yeah, I'm not really sure what I want to do with this area anyway. So maybe I'll build a nice swing ride here. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, I think this ride, even though it is in a bit of an awkward spot, I think it does look really cool here. So that's why I'm really happy with where it sits right now. Okay, and as for this area, yeah, I did a little bit of a touch up. I think these big snowflakes on top of these little hills that do make it stand apart from the rest of the park a little bit. Okay, yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me build. Now normally I would take you for a ride on this coaster, but if you look at the first car, well, then you'll be looking at this invisible car which is on an invisible track far underground. So that doesn't really make sense. So I'm just going to well, you also don't see much if I do it like this. Yeah, I'll just show you the ride like this when it starts, and yeah, that'll be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.